Hey guys, Brian with Cajun Cardboard coming at you from the great state of Louisiana with your every Friday episode of Explore the Card. This is episode number 22. Today we are featuring the 1997 Thrill Seekers, but it is a special day. It's Good Friday, and I brought you a treat. You're welcome. This is a cat shirt with fireworks in the background. I don't know if you guys can see that. You probably want to screenshot it, but there's three cats. They're jumping. They're happy. It's Friday. We're doing Explore the Card. There's fireworks. I mean, what else could you want in life besides cats, fireworks, and Jordan? That being said, what a great way to start our Friday. So on your screen, you've got our thumbnail for this, again, episode number 22 of Explore the Card. We will get cranking here. The first thing I always do is I like to give you guys basically some transparency and let you know exactly what it is that I own. What I did is I pulled up my PWCC vault. Hopefully that's on your screen and you can see it here and the picture's good. I own the 1997 Thrill Seekers, which we're talking about today. That's card number 7 in a BGS 9.5 condition. I also own the 1996 Thrill Seekers, which is a little more rare, a little harder pack pull, a little more valuable. I just wanted to show you both of those because these are the 2 years of Thrill Seekers. We'll pull up the one that we're talking about today. It is an absolutely beautiful card. We're going to talk about it in a little bit more detail in just a second. Mine is a Min Gem copy, BGS 9.5, which is, those of you who know, cards in this price range. I like to get these cards either BGS 9.5 or PSA 10. Lucky enough to get this one in a BGS 9.5 copy and save me a few bucks. But the card comes from the 1997 Flair set. It's a 350 card base set. We've already done an episode on Soaring Stars, so I'm not going to take too much of your time talking about the base set. It's 350 cards. There's a Series 1 and a Series 2. There were retail and there were hobby boxes. I've got trading card database pulled up. The two notable rookies from 97 we all know is Tim Duncan and Tracy McGrady. There was a couple other really good players, but Tim Duncan and Tracy McGrady's are the ones that, here we are 25 years later that retain a lot of the hobby's interest and a lot of value in the hobby, and there's a lot of guys that personally collect those two players. Not as many as I think there should be. Not as many as there are for the 96 class, but there are a lot of Tim Duncan and Tracy McGrady collectors out there, so those cards do hold some value. There are 17 insert sets and 2 parallel sets. I've got your insert sets pulled up on your screen. You've got your Decade of Excellence, Rare Traditions, Hardwood Leaders, Franchise Futures, Game Breakers, Gaudy Greats, High Flying Soaring Stars, and regular Soaring Stars. High Flying is a parallel of the Soaring Stars. We talked about that in a prior episode of Explore the Card. Key Ingredient Gold, parallel. $1 Million Moments, Rookie Rewind. A lot of you will be familiar with the Kobe from that Rookie Rewind insert set. It's rookies from the prior year. Kobe's in that one. Rookie Sensations, which would be this year's rookie cards, 97's rookie cards. Here's the regular base Soaring Stars. Thrill Seekers, Total O, Tower of Power, and Zone. The 2 parallel sets are Traditions Crystal and Traditions Tiffany, which carry a nice little premium to the base set. This was the second year of Thrill Seekers, as we talked about. So you've got the 97 Thrill Seekers on your screen that we're about to talk about. I wanted to show you the prior year Thrill Seekers. So this is from 96 Flair. I don't think this is as good a looking card as the 97. This card has got a lenticular texture to the front of it. There's been some talk about, some of these cards appear kind of bright red and vibrant, and some of them are very, very dark red. The question is whether that just has to do with the lighting or whatever. I've never held 2 of these in my hand, these 96 Thrill Seekers in my hand to compare the two, to see a dark and a light one, but it might just have to do with the lighting. Just do some research before you dig on this 1996 Thrill Seekers for sure. But we're going to be talking, today about the 1997 Thrill Seekers because that's the card du jour. So this 96 Thrill Seekers, however, was 1 in 3,600 packs, so a really tough pack pull, which yields, why it costs a premium to put it in your collection. Thrill Seekers is a 10-player. Let's go find it. 10-player set. If we click on it, you can see it's got Sharif, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Hardaway, Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, Jordan, Marbury, Rodman, and then the only outsider, the only intruder that doesn't belong is number 1 overall draft pick, Joe Smith, who was a pretty much just Kevon Looney of his time. Well, he was better than that. He was a career journeyman. He ended up being. Certainly he was a swing and a miss as far as ultra high draft picks go. So out of those 10 players, 6 are Hall of Famers. A lot of the usual suspects in that set. Thrill Seekers is inserted 1 in 288 Series 2 only packs. So if you're ripping boxes, remember you want to rip Series 2 boxes to chase that card. It's 1 in 288 packs. That's a lot of packs. The Jordan is 1 in 2,880 packs. That is really a lot of packs. So talking about the card, let's take a little bit closer look. I feel like in recent episodes, I'm spending a little bit too much time talking about the numbers and not quite enough time just appreciating the texture and the quality and the appearance of the card. This is a great one to flip the script on and talk in a little bit more detail. I love the font, okay? So just looking at the card, it's got that picture frame window. So this is going to evoke comparisons to Natural Born Thrillers, EX, the EX 2001 base card, that kind of orangish card. I'm trying to think of some other cards that have this kind of window frame picture. You guys are going to have to help me out in the comments. There's a couple of them, but it looks like it's kind of like a window frame background. It's got this, what we now call the scope pattern. Something I read that I just kind of pulled, and I've got it quoted here. It's a matte finish frame and 100% etched silver holofoil in the background with a spot UV coating. I'm not sure what that means because I'm not the most artistic cat out there. No pun intended, cat shirt. But this is the scope pattern that Panini Select stole for ultra-modern Panini scope cards, right? So we've seen this pattern. But this is where that pattern came from. It's got Michael Jordan over here on the side. Something I've never noticed. His name is actually in, I guess you would call those brackets or parentheses. It's down at the bottom. It's got Thrill Seekers with the little Thrill Seeker symbol behind it with the target right there. Jordan's shooting a right-handed layup here, and he's got some tape on his fingers. It looks like he's got tape on his index finger, but he might also have it on his thumb. I can't tell if that's a shadow or not. And then very lightly up here in the golds, you can see Flair 97, 98. Let's look at the back. The back's kind of weird. I read it and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what they were thinking. I guess it's kind of got like a little dossier file type deal down here, where it's like a file. It's got a paper clip on like a Manila file folder, showing when Jordan was born, his weight and his height and his position. But then the narrative, of course, is always interesting to read. It says, "Still the best and still amazing. The Clippers' Brent Barry can attest to that. After he went up to challenge Jordan's shot." Now, what in the hell does that have to do with anything? I have no idea. The Clippers, I don't know why they're quoting the Clippers' Brent Barry, but that's just totally arbitrarily included in the narrative in the back. There's not a picture of Brent Barry on the front. I have no idea what they're even talking about and why Brent Barry would be challenging Jordan's shot anyway, but it says Brent Barry can attest to that. After he went up to challenge Jordan's shot. That's great. Thank you. So his airness simply waited in midair for Barry to come down and then put it in the hole. I don't know, but I get the vibe that sometimes the people that write those narratives have never played or even seen the sport of basketball. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the vibe that I get. Anyway, all right, let's get to the important stuff. I've got the card pulled up on Card Ladder so you guys can see it nice and crystal clear. I've always got this chart here for you guys, okay? So screenshot it, or if you're not that tech savvy, just take your phone and hold it sideways and, get a picture of it. This has got grades PSA 10, BGS 9.5, PSA 9, and BGS 9. You guys can see the pop of all the cards in the left-hand column. There's been 116 graded by PSA. There's been 169 graded by BGS. The pop, the gem percentage for the PSA 10 and the BGS 9.5 is relatively similar, and it's a pretty high number for a card that's now 25 years old, that's so rarely pack pulled. It's 28% for PSA 10 and 33% for BGS 9.5. there's about, what is that, 67% more BGS 9.5s out there than there are PSA 10s. So it's a little more common, which is why the last BGS 9.5 sold for $4,550, but the last PSA 10 sold for $7,200. The highest sale price for any PSA 10 hit exactly $10,000 on the nose. As we can see, if we go back here to our card ladder graph, you'll see a history of this card and the illustrious career of this card. This is just 2 years. So 2,900, 3,200, 3,300, 3,400. It jumped to 7,600 during the crazy March, the first quarter bubble of 2021. Then the card defied the odds and jumped at the end of that first quarter bubble, the very last day of the first quarter of 2021, to 9,800. And then again, all the way in December, the card jumped again to $10,000. And then the most recent sale here you see has come down, which really, honestly, sort of surprises me for a card that's a 1 in 2,880 pack pull. This card sold for $7,200 on March 12th. So just 1 month ago, and it happened on Golden, which is really rare because Golden gets looks and gets eyeballs. So Golden usually does a good job. I'm not sure how that card, dropped 30%. In that sale, but it did. But if we look at the card over the last 2 years, it's up 148%. If we look at it over the last 6 months, you'll see that Golden sale was a 28% drop in value, which is pretty surprising. But let's go back to our chart. 2 PSA 10s have sold in the last 6 months, just the record setter at 10,000, and then the Golden sale. And for BGS 9.5, the card sold 4 times, so about twice as often in the last 6 months. Let's pull up the BGS 9.5 and take a look at that and see what that chart looks like. There's the last 6 months right there, so a little bit of uncertainty. Looks like the card's probably a pretty safe $4,000 to $4,500 card. If we look at the last 2 years, not nearly as much of a run-up as the PSA 10 for whatever reason. But that's what the card's done over the last 2 years. 6 sales total for an average of 36.33. The card's up 1% over the last 6 months, but again, there was a dip in there, so it just has to do with your beginning and your ending price point. What happens in between is really important, and that's something to remember. I will say this: both the PSA 9 you can see on your screen and the BGS 9 have both dropped. Those cards have both dropped over the last 6 months. The PSA 9's down 17%, and that's over 8 sales. And the BGS 9 has dropped 10%, and that's over 5 sales. So there's something to be said there. There's something to look at there for sure. If you look at the pop growth over here since April of last year, there's been 1 PSA 10 added, and there's been 1 BGS 9.5 added, but there's been a lot of people taking a crack at it, as you can see, because 15 people got back a PSA 9 that they submitted or cracked and resubmitted. So 15 out of 16, it looks like, went PSA 9. Of course, there could be PSA 8s and men's size and PSA 7s or whatever, but it just shows you people are trying to grade this card in a PSA 10. It's just not happening very often, with only 1 of them added to the pop report in PSA 10 condition. For BGS 9.5, same thing. 1's been added in BGS 9.5. 4 have been added in BGS 9. There are no black labels of this card, but there is, in fact, a BGS 10. Comment below. Let me know what you think that card would be worth. If the PSA 10 right now is about $7,500, I am going to go out on a limb and say that BGS 10 Pop 1 is probably a $15,000 card. I'm going to say it's double. I'm going to say that's what the ratio would be. Let me know what you think in the comments that BGS 10 would be worth. Obviously, let me know in the comments if you own the card, because I'd love to know who owns it. The combined gem population, which we, that's what I look at, fellas, because I collect these types of cards in this price range in BGS 9.5 and or PSA 10 condition. So I'm looking to pick up 1 copy in either of those gem mint grades. There are 88 combined, so it is less than that magical number of 100, which to me makes it a very rare card. When the combined gem population is 100 or less, I feel very safe from a long-term investment perspective. If it was 200, would I have the card in my collection? Yes. If it was 500 combined gems, would I have the card in my collection? Yes. But it's that threshold and that balance of collecting and investing. it just gives you the nice tingly feeling knowing you've got a pretty good investment when there's less than 100 of these combined gem mint in the world. It just kind of gives you a nice comfort feeling from an investment perspective as well. So combined gems have sold 6 times in the past 6 months. So the card's out there if you want to get it. It appears about once every 2 months. I'm guessing that's going to slow down a little bit here since prices have settled. I think a lot of that was attributed to the prices spiking in 2021 towards the beginning part of that year. I think the number that are selling is probably going to slow down a little bit. The pop reports are not going up, obviously at too high of a rate for those gem mint condition quality copies. What's on eBay? We always like to take a look at what's on eBay. When I go to eBay and I plug in 1997 Thrill Seekers Jordan, I pull up 2 options. One of them is a very overpriced, but has a best offer option here for $39.99. If we go back to Card Ladder, we can kind of figure out what the PSA 9 is worth on the market. Let's look at the last 3 months. There you go. So it sold for an average of $2,700 over the last 3 months. That's 4 sales. It's got as high as $3,720, but I think the more reasonable number here is probably about $2,500, $2,600. This one on eBay is up here as a buy it now at $2,800. That's really not far off. If you've got a vault at PWCC or one of these other places where you don't have to pay sales taxes of 8, 9, 10% for your state, you pick that card up for $2,800. That's not bad for a PSA 9 copy. Like we talked about, that's a Pop 52 card, and there is only 33 PSA 10s, so that's really not that far off. Normally, when you find these super rare, hard to pull high pack odd Jordan cards on eBay, the prices are like $6,000 or best offer, and it's like, man, is it even worth messing with this, trying to get it at or near $2,500? But $2,800 is not that much over $2,500, $2,600. I mean, and like we said, the card hit $3,700, just a few months ago. So that's what's available in all grades and raw and everything. That's everything I pull up when I type in 97 Thrill Seekers Jordan. If we want to try to chase it in the box, if you're one of those kind of people that likes to gamble or just likes to have fun opening boxes, Burbank has one for $1,500. Be careful and remember, these are only Series 2 hobby boxes where these cards appear. It's going to be the one with Grant Hill on the cover. It'll say 97, 98 Flair Basketball Series 2. That's for $1,500 for Burbank. This is not the same thing. Remember, Flair Ultra is a totally different product. So if you see Ultra, ignore it. I could have done the minus Ultra thing, but I didn't. So I got non-results, but we got one sealed box there with Burbank. We've got a pretty good looking sealed box here at Dave & Adams for $715 or $715.95 or best offer. So who knows what you could pull off with them. And then if you scroll down, here's a 2-lot combo. It's a 97 Series 1 and Series 2 from Canada for $1,800. Then we've got, be careful because this is not a full-blown hobby box. It says retail. So this is a retail box. And the retail box looks a lot like the hobby box. So you guys be careful with that. It's obviously significantly cheaper. And then here's another hobby box for $14.95, and then 2 more Ultra boxes. Anyway, I'm not a wax guy, but if you are a wax guy, that doesn't look like too bad of a price, $715 or best offer. So maybe Dave & Adams will take a little bit more. Dave & Adams is certainly a very reputable seller of sealed wax. What do I own in grade? We've already talked about it. We always talk about it. I own the 9.5 copy. Where does that put me as far as buy, sell, or hold? I am going to hold it for a Cajun Eternity, which, as you know, if you've watched my videos before, Cajun Eternity is almost like real eternity. It's a very, very, very long time. I have no interest in buying another copy unless it came at a significant discount. I have no interest whatsoever in selling the card because I consider it a critical piece of my collection. I like having pairings. I like having trios. This card is a very important card of mine because I've paired it with the other 1996 Thrill Seekers that I showed you a little bit earlier. So this card's not going anywhere. It's staying in my collection. I think it would be a nice addition for any Jordan collector. Where does it rank on the Jordan cardboard? I can never say it. Good Lord. The Cajun cardboard Jordan scale of relevance. How relevant is it? Let's just cut to the chase. How relevant is this card for Jordan collectors? I call it a 6 out of 10. It's got high pack odds, so it's not going to be easy to come across. You'll find about one a month, one every 2 months, something like that on the market in gem condition. If you wanted it in PSA 9 or BGS 9, you could certainly probably go buy one at any given time. So it's not going to get up in that 8, 9, 10, relevance on my 10-point scale. So I'm going to call it a 6, maybe a 6.5 out of 10. We always want to look at the cards, and let's go back to our chart here. I categorize all Jordan inserts into high, mid, or a grail, which is 20,000 or more, high end, which is 10 to 20,000, mid end, which is 5 to 10,000. We're talking about PSA 10. We're talking about whatever their that grade is, that value, and then low, which is 5,000 and below. This card is a mid card. It had tipped this the very bottom threshold for a high end Jordan insert when it hit $10,000 during 2021 during that spike. But this card's pretty solidly right in the middle of a mid-end Jordan insert. And then as you can see, even the BGS 9.5 falls into that low-end category. It's about a $4,500 card right now. And then PSA 9 and BGS 9, as we saw, can be had for a low-end price, and they're not hard to find. 13 have sold in the last 6 months, so you guys can definitely go get those cards if you want them. I think it's a great looking card. I think it's a really, really good, clean looking card. I certainly like the look of the 97 Thrill Seekers more than the 96 Thrill Seekers. But what if you have $7,000 and you've got to choose a Jordan insert to purchase that you don't already have for that price? I and my minion, my team of Cajun minions has put together 3 other comparable Jordan insert cards at about the same price range. The first one you're going to see on your screen here is the 1995 EXL Natural Born Thrillers in PSA 10 condition. This is about a $5,000 card. It's about a pop 51, so a little bit higher pop, a little bit lower value. Similar, remember we talked about the window pane. This card's also got a window pane type appearance to it. A lot of people are very, very high on this card. So that's an option if you're trying to figure out how to spend your money. Another one is this 1998 die-cut Planet Metal. So just like the Thrill Seekers is the second year of Thrill Seekers, this Planet Metal die-cut is the second year of Metal Universe Planet Metal. The first year is the more recognizable 1997 Metal Universe Planet Metal, which has got the silver foil and all of that. But this die-cut is actually super, super rare. It's a 29 pop. It's about a $6,800 card. It just sold for $6,800 a couple months ago. So that is another option to consider. And then the next option is the 1995 Beam Team, which you guys know is a favorite of mine. Let's look at that card up close. It's just incredible. It's got this die cut, laser cut, not silhouette, but like shadowy look of Jordan's face. It's got Jordan with as colorful a background as you could possibly imagine. If you heard the words Beam Team, this is what you think of. There's beams everywhere. It's super bright. It's super colorful, super futuristic. Jordan's got his tongue out. I just think that card's crazy undervalued. I'm hyping it. I own the card in PSA 10, so I'm going to hype the hell out of it. So keep that in perspective. Actually, I think I own each one of these 3 cards, yes, in PSA 10 as well. So those just happen to be 3 cards that I chose that are about in that price range. And the Beam Team also has a nice low pop here, almost the same as our Thrill Seekers that we're looking at today. It's a pop 29 card. But that card has experienced a really big run up, and then it's held steady, So those are your options. The Beam Team 95, 98 Planet Metal, 1995 Natural Born Thrillers, and then our 1997 Thrill Seekers, which is the card we're featuring today. If I had to choose from those cards in order, I personally would choose the Beam Team first. Obviously, if we threw out value, the Thrill Seekers is a more expensive card, so I'd choose that first, sell it, and then buy the Beam Team. But you get my point as far as just picking which card I think 10 years from now I will want to have in my collection the most, which is really what I do when I buy Jordans. Is I'm thinking probably 10, 15 years down the road, God willing, I'm here. I would pick this one first. So I'd go 95 Beam Team first. I would go with our card that we're featuring today, the Thrill Seekers, next. Next in line, I would go with the 1995 Natural Born Thrillers, which you just can't deny it. It's a really good looking card, man. That is a really good looking card up close. And then lastly, and no slouch at all, I would go with the most rare of these cards, the 1998 Metal Universe Planet Metal die cut in PSA 10. So that's the order that I would take. That is it, guys. That does it for our discussion today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. And if you haven't seen this before, I've got a surprise for you. I've got 21 other episodes that you can go back. It's in my playlist under Explore the Card on my YouTube channel. So go find my playlist, switch over to that playlist, start at number 1, and then catch up, right? So we've got 22 in the books. We're building a nice little library here. People ask me what order are you choosing them, or how do you pick whichever card. I take requests in the comments. I can't always check off the request and do that because I have a little bit of a method to my madness, but a lot of it depends on how much time I have. Some of these cards take a little bit more time to do an episode on than others, and some of them, I just choose completely, totally randomly because I like the look of the card, or I don't know anything about it and I want to learn more about the card. So some of the cards I own, some of the cards I don't own. There's no rhyme or reason there. Obviously, the cards I own, the episodes will be a little bit easier for me to do because I'll know a little bit more about the card and I've educated myself on those cards. But really, the purpose of these episodes is just to educate and entertain, and hopefully I've done a little bit of both. Thank you guys so much for watching. Click one of these videos that you're about to see on the end screen if you want to get some more Jordan content, some cool top 5, top 10 lists, and even a nice pinch of ultra modern prospecting and investing type stuff. So hopefully I check all the boxes. Hopefully you guys can run out to Target or Walmart or whatever low-end retail store and look for a cat shirt. This might be the only one. This, I think, is a pop 1. I think it's a 1 of 1. I can't turn around and show you the back, but I think it's a 1 of 1. So hopefully this made episode number 22. Number 22 as special and as meaningful as you ever hoped it would be. Thank you guys for watching. Keep collecting, stay positive in the hobby, and peace